Young girls. Okay, so in the previous session we talked about the data visualization, just an introduction to data visualization. We had seen what do you mean by data visualization. Then very important, why we need data visualization was also discussed in our previous session. What are the reasons or why we need to use data visualization in especially while presenting the data. And also we had seen some of the benefits of data visualization in organizations. Then very important thing in the Python programming, Matplotlib module is the one which helps in the data visualization. So whenever you want to present some data, we can make use of the Matplotlib module. So if you don't have Matplotlib module in your system, you have to use the pip command as we had used in all the other modules. Use your pip command to install the Matplotlib module. Just say pip install Matplotlib, or sometimes if you are using pip 3 version, then you have to give pip 3 Matplotlib install Matplotlib, right? So that's how you install the module. And we had seen what are the things that are available in this particular package. All these things we had covered in our earlier session. We had also seen what are the list of graphs and charts that can be created by Matplotlib, and some of the functions also I had shown you, and I had given you a demo program also in the previous session. So just to recollect, let us go through the demo program. So this was the program we had seen, and I had also shown you, like, instead of importing the Matplotlib or pyplot from Matplotlib, I can also use this kind of importing. Just by saying from pylab import star, it will be importing all the functions that are available in Matplotlib, in which you have pylab as one of the libraries. From this library you can import all the functions, so that I can directly make use of this plot, show, etc. without giving any other object name. Okay, so that is one of the advantage of using this pylab. So here we had seen how I can plot a line graph, because default is a line graph, how I can plot a line graph using this particular data. So I just create a data with a list. We had seen, like, you can create data for plotting either using Python list or by using the NumPy module. Okay, so here I am straight away using a Python list, and I store it in this particular variable, and I just invoke the plot function to plot the data, and I say show that particular plotting. So if I use this particular code segment, it will be giving me this particular graph. Here in this graph I am using only one data set. Suppose if you want to have two data sets like X and Y, you can make use of two data sets for plotting. So here you have to create two different lists, and using these two lists I can create a plot like this. Okay, then apart from that, if you see here, by default, as I told you, it is going to create always a line graph, and that will be in blue color. So blue color and line graph is a default plotting. Suppose if you want to change the plotting, you don't want line, you want dots, and you want a different color, then what you have to do, you can go for this plot function and specify in the plot function the first two parameters will be the data set, and the third parameter is the one that specifies what kind of plotting you want, right? So here I say B indicates that you want the plotting to be in blue color, and if I say O, then the plotting will be done in circles, right? So you can observe here in the output you are having these values plotted as circles in blue color. Then I can also give a name for the x-axis and y-axis, for which I am using functions called x-label and y-label that gives the names for the x-axis and y-axis. Whatever you want, you can change here, right? Then apart from that, I have one more function here called axis function, where I have given a list. In the list, I have given the minimum and maximum value of each axis. So it says 0 is the minimum value for my x-axis, 6 is the maximum value for the y-axis. If you see here, 0 is the minimum value and 6 is the maximum value for my x-axis, and for y-axis I have given 1 as the minimum value, 7 as the maximum value. So that is what is given in the y-axis, 1 minimum and 7 as the maximum. So after setting all these information for my plotting, I gave show function so that this particular plotting or the graph will be shown to the user. Then apart from that, I have also given another plotting where I am using different symbols, right? You can observe here I am using different symbols. I have created a data set using the arrange function, and the arrange function is available in the NumPy module. So using this arrange function, what I have done, I have created a data called T. And the interesting part here is, if you are importing PyLab, if you are importing all the functions, star indicates you are importing all the functions that are all the libraries that are available in the PyLab module. And when you import this PyLab module, the NumPy module will also be automatically imported. That is why when I said all these things are available in the PyLab, right? So all these functions are available in the PyLab module, whereas arrange is a function which is available in the NumPy module. Since I have imported all the things that are available in PyLab, the arrange function is also available in the NumPy module, which is also imported, right? So what happens here, this function, this is actually a range, it is not arrange, so it is a range, array range, right? So this array range will take values from 0 to 5, and the 0.2 will also be taken for the ranging, and a data set called T will be created here. And what I do, I am plotting two things. In the first one, I take the value of T, which is powered by 2, and in the second one I take the value of T, which is powered by 3. And if you observe here, for the first one I have given cross as the symbol, right? I want plotting to be done in cross, whereas in the second one I want the plotting to be done in circles or in dots, but it should be in red color. Whereas here I have not given any color. So what is the default color? It is obviously blue. So in the graph I get the cross marks in blue color and the dots in the red color, right? So we will be seeing how all these things can be changed in our Matplotlib or in PyPlot. Okay, and this is another example I showed you yesterday. And the major difference here is, here I am importing all the functions that are available in PyLab module, whereas here I am importing PyPlot module from Matplotlib as PLT, right? So this is an alias name I give for PyPlot. And whatever functions you have in PyLab like plot, show, x label, y label, axis, it is all available in PyPlot also. Okay. So here what I do, I am going to plot, I invoke the plot function and I give a list of values like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I give a y label, right? I did not give x label, I give y label, and I just said like some numbers is the label that I want to give for the y axis, and I just showed the plotting. And if you observe here, it has drawn a line, right, ranging from 1 to 4. So you get 1, 2, 3 up to 4, and the y label is having this particular label called some numbers. Okay, Now in this example I am using only one list, right? Suppose if you want to have two lists, I can use the plot function with x-axis values and y-axis values. Please observe, the first one will be always the x-axis value and the second one will be always the y-axis value. And what is this one? We had seen just now, I want the plotting to be done in the cross mark and the color must be in red color. That is what this RX indicates. Okay. And the axis also we had seen. What is axis? It gives you the x minimum and x maximum, y minimum and y maximum. Okay. So in the x axis I have 0 to 200 as the range of values, and in y axis the minimum is 0 and maximum 100. So I get 0 to 100. Okay. So that is why we are going to label the plotting or the graph. And if you want to give a label for the x-axis and y-axis, that can also be given. So I have given height as the x label and weight as the y label. So that is what is marked here. And you can observe all these data were marked in the red cross symbol. And see, for 123 it is 46. For 123 height, the weight is 46. So what happened in 123? So this comes around somewhere here, 123 and 46. That is how it is marking, right? Whereas here for only one list of values, it just drawn a line. Whereas here it is going to take it as a compare or a pair of values, like 123 height with 46 as the weight, 150 height with 80 as the weight. So if you see here, for 150 the weight is 80. Okay, so that is how it is marking this particular plotting. So all these plottings are examples of linear plotting. Okay, so if you want to plot x and y, we had just seen now, if you want to plot x and y, right, this is x values and these are y values. If you want to plot x and y, what you do, you have to give this particular plotting, and this is the function, right? So this is the function with two parameters, x and y will be given for plotting x and y values, right? And if you want to format the style of plotting, what do you mean by formatting style of plotting? If I have just given x and y, it is going to mark with line. Whereas I want to have it in the marker as x and color as red, that has to be given in the formatting. Let us see how the formatting is to be given. So for every x and y pair of arguments, what you have to do, you have to give an optional third argument, right? So that is what is given here. The third argument is given here. So you need to give the third argument, which is the format string that indicates the color, red color in the example, and line type, which is x of the plot. And the letters and symbols of the format string are actually used from MATLAB, and we concatenate a color string with the line style. Color is R value and line style is X. Okay. So the default, as I told you, it will be blue color and the line will be the solid blue line will be the default format string. Whereas if you want to have red circles, then you have to give R0. In our example, we had given Rx as the value for plotting or for formatting the style of plot. Okay. Then apart from that, we had also seen an axis function in the example, which takes a list of x minimum and x maximum, y minimum and y maximum. So you need to give 4 values in the list for the axis function to specify what can be the points in that particular axis. So the example had shown you what is pyplot. So pyplot is nothing but a collection of functions that make Matplotlib work like MATLAB. This is very, very important. What do you mean by MATLAB? MATLAB is nothing but a programming and numeric computing platform used by millions of engineers and statistics to analyze the data, to develop algorithms and to create modules. But unfortunately, MATLAB is a paid version, right? So you have to pay and procure the MATLAB software. Only then you can do all these kind of plottings for analyzing the data. So that is one disadvantage or limitation that we have in MATLAB. Since it is a paid version, you need to pay, purchase it, then install it in your system, and you need to pay for the license, right? So as you pay license for Microsoft Windows operating system, MATLAB should also be purchased with license, right? So it is a little expensive. So what you can do, you can make use of all the functions that are available in MATLAB in PyPlot, which is obviously an open source module. You can download it and you can install it in your Python machine. Okay. So each PyPlot function, if you take, you can create a figure. We have seen how a plot figure can be created. We can create it, and we can create plotting area inside the figure also. So if you want to have subplots, that can also be created inside the figure. We will see an example for that subplotting also. Then apart from that, if you want to plot some lines in the plotting area, that is also possible. We had just now seen an example. And if you want to decorate the plotting with labels, we had seen like how you can give a X label, how you can give a Y label, all those things can also be done. And another very interesting thing that is available in PyPlot is you can have various states will be preserved. That means you create a figure, and for that figure, what are the different states that are available? Like when I say states, in which particular value the plotting has been done. What is the X label value? What is the Y label value currently available? So all these things can be preserved and you can save it as a figure itself. That is the advantage of this PyPlot. So what we do generally, when I tried some machine learning programs or data science programs, what we did actually, I will create the Python code and I create this particular figure, and this figure can be saved in my machine with some figure names also. That is the advantage, right? So you just directly store it in your laptop or in your drive, wherever you want. You create that figure and you can save it in your machine. That is the advantage. That is the advantage of this PyPlot. So if you have this PyPlot, what I try to tell you is, you create a figure and this figure can be saved as a variable itself. This figure can be saved as a variable itself. Maybe when you are doing a machine learning program, you may try to create more figures, like more analysis you may be doing, and for each analysis you want to have different plotting. So what you have to do, if you are going to keep on giving this plot result, it will be overwritten. So what you have, see, when you call the plot function, again if you call the plot function, the first figure will be overwritten. So what you have to do, you can store this plot, whatever plot you have created, just save it in a figure, in a variable. You can call it as figure 1. Then again invoke the plot function, save it in figure 2, so that both the graphs will be available in your program. So that is the advantage of having this PyPlot. So these are the different types of plots that we can create using PyPlot. So all these things can be created. So we will be looking at like how a bar chart can be created, how a scatter plot can be created. Then if time permits, we will be discussing how an histogram can be created, how a pie chart can be created. These are the things that we will be discussing, and all the other things you can further explore in your machine. Okay. Now, so suppose if you want to plot several lines, right? You want to plot more than one information, right? So in the earlier example, we had seen X values being plotted, Y values being plotted. And if you want to plot X and Y with different format styles, how we can do it. Let me go to the browser, right, and I'm going to show you the examples in Jupyter Notebook, right. We can also do it in a Spider, but just to experience how the Jupyter Notebook works, I thought of giving it in your Jupyter Notebook, right. You can try the same in your Spider also, but Jupyter is much better than Spider, right. So when you do lots of advanced kind of Python programming, it is better you can go for Jupyter Notebook. So this is how a Jupyter Notebook looks like. And if you want to open the Jupyter Notebook, what I did, I can show you. This is how I have opened the Jupyter Notebook. I have installed Jupyter Notebook already in my machine, and I just invoked Jupyter Notebook by saying Jupyter-notebook, and I press the enter key. So when I press the enter key, automatically it has opened this particular page, right. So it will open this page, and from there I can open any program that I am going to have. And if you want to have a new Jupyter Notebook or a new code segment, you can go to File and create new notebook. And by the time, since I have installed both Python version 2 and Python version 3, it is asking me whether you want to create the notebook in 2 or in 3, right. Suppose if you have installed only Python 3, then it will be showing you only Python 3. So if you want to create a new notebook, you can say Python 3, then a new notebook like this will be created, right. So now you have the empty segment, empty code editor, where you can type the code and you can run the code, right. So I'll just show you how. I'm just copying this code and I paste it here, and you can see here for A range I need to import NumPy, and for matplotlib I need to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, which is an alias name, and I'm giving only one plot function for creating more than one lines in the graph, right. I'm going to run this particular code. I run this code, okay. When I run this code, you can see this is the output. So in a single graph itself, I have plotted 3 information, right. I have plotted 3 information with different colors and different style also. You can observe here, I am using T, which is the input value. I am using T, which is the input value, and for T with the same value, T with same value. So that is why you see this particular red line, right. So T and T, this is X value and this is Y value, and I am marking it with R hyphen hyphen. So hyphen hyphen is the style, R is the color for which I want, R is the color with which I want to plot this particular data. Okay. Now the second one, I am going to give B and S. I give B for blue color, S for square. B for blue color and S for square. And you can observe here, I have given T and T power 2. So this is the X value and this is the Y value which I have given for the second line, right. And third line, I have given T and T power cube, and I have given color as green, and I have given the cap symbol for drawing the triangle. So what happens now? I have plotted 3 different lines in 3 different formatting also, right, but using a single plot function. That is the advantage. Okay. So if you want to plot several lines with different formatting style in one function, I am not using more than one plot function. In a single function itself, I am trying to plot several lines, and that too each line with different formatting styles. So that is what is shown here. So just by giving one plot function, one plot function, you are going to have the plotting of several lines with different formatting style, and I have tried it in Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So if you want to draw a line plot, which we had seen now as an example, I can simply say PLT. PLT is a alias name for pyplot, and just invoke the plot function and pass the two parameters x and y, the x values and y values, right? So the further parameters can be added if you want to format the style. And if you want to plot a bar chart, we will be using the bar function. If you want to plot a scatter plot, then we go for scatter function. And if you want to have subplots, we will go for subplot. Is nothing but you can draw multiple plots in one graph itself, right? So that is what is subplot, right? So we'll be seeing all these things one by one now with suitable examples. So let us see the line plots, which is also known as linear plots, which is also known as linear plots. The plot function marks the x coordinates and y coordinates. Plot function is the one which is used for linear plots. So it marks the x coordinate and y coordinate in a linear graph with the specified values. And these are some of the parameters that are used in the plot function. So it accepts the parameters to set the axis values and also formatting the graph. So and these parameters are x and y to give the values, then axis function to specify what is the x minimum and x maximum, y minimum and y maximum for both the x axis and the y axis. Then we have the plot function with the x comma y value and the color. See, in the earlier example we had seen both the color and the style given in a single quote, right? Apart from that, you can specify the color and marker this way also, right? So you can use these attributes itself, right? Just say attribute color and what color you want, the marker, whether it is dots, or you want square, or you want triangle, that can be given here. Then the line style, which can be given as dashed line style or solid line, that can also be given. Then you can also give line width also. You can give the line width, right? So whether you want to have single pixel or you want to increase the width of that particular line can also be given. And the marker size can be given. By default it is going to be 12, and if you want to increase the marker size, that can also be done, right? So these are other parameters that can be used along with the plot function. Then x label we had seen. If you want to give a name for the x axis, you use x label function. If you want to give name for the y axis, then you give the y label function. Okay. Then apart from that, for the entire graph, if you want to give a label, then you can use the the attribute called label attribute. So if you give this label attribute or call it as parameter, and if you use this parameter, it gives a name for the entire graph. So something like the title, right? So you want to give a title for that particular graph, then you can use the label. Apart from, you have title function also, which can be used for specifying the title, right? So you call this title as legend of that particular chart. Okay, so these are some of the parameters that we will be using in the plot function. Okay, now let us see an interesting example for linear plotting. We are going to use the power conception of data sets of not Kannur and Kozhikode. I am going to use a power conception data sets of house 1 and house 2, right? Two houses are there. House 1, please note, it is not Kannur and Kozhikode data. I am going to take it as house 1 and house 2. The power conception data, if you want, I will change it in my slide itself. please change it in the notes. Please change it in the notes. Later I will be changing it. Change it in your notes, like it is not Kannur and Kozhikode, it is house 1 and house 2. House 1 and house 2. And in these years, what will be the power consumption of house 1 and house 2. So this many number of units have been used by house 1 in 1972. So this is the number of units used by house 1 in 1982 and so on. Okay. And this is the list of units used by house 2. It is 10.5 units in 1972 and 25.21 in 1982 and so on. Okay. So this is what we are going to do. So let me take the example. Okay. I'll just show you the example here which I tried. So this is the code that I am going to copy. This is the electricity consumption of house 1 and house 2. I am going to paste it here, and please observe the code. And before that, if you want, we will see the code here itself. So this is the code that we are going to try. I have year as one list, then house 1 as the second list, house 2 as the third list. 3 list of data is available. I am going to plot the x-axis and y-axis with different colored labels. Okay, x-axis will have the year and y-axis will have the units, right? The units consumed by house 1 and house 2. Okay. Now I am going to use the plot function here. What are the two values I have to give? I have to give the x value and the y value. So for the first plotting, I have the x value as the year and y value as the units consumed by house 1. And there I said the color of the line must be in orange and the label should be house 1 and the line width should be 5. Then in the second plot function, I have used same x and y value, but this time I am using y value with house 2 data. Then the color I gave it as green, and you can observe here for the first one I give it as orange, the full name, and for the second one I have just used G. So you can use either G or you can use green itself. So it is all flexible here in Python. Then I want to give the label as house 2 and the line width must be 3. And I am trying to plot the x label as years and I am trying to plot the y label as power consumption in units. Okay. And I want to give you a title, right? So I want to give you a title like electricity consumption of house 1 and house 2. And I am also using a function called legend which will say what color is used by house 1 and house 2. So let us switch to the example now. Right, so this is the example code I have in Jupyter Notebook. You can observe I have 3 data set, year, house 1, house 2 and house 3. Then I have these two plotting. Okay, then I have labels. I have the labels here, x label and y label. Then I give the title also. Okay, so I will try running it. Okay, so when I run this code, you can observe the output will be like this. I have years in the x-axis, then power consumption in units in the y-axis, then I have orange and green color for house 1 and house 2. Since I use the legend function, when I use the legend function inside this rectangle, you can see here inside this rectangle I have house 1 and house 2. So it says orange color is for house 1 and green color is for house 2. Then the title of the graph is given as electricity consumption of house 1 and house 2, right? So this is how we can have the linear plotting using the plot function, or you call it as line plot using the plot function. And the next one is a very interesting one, bar charts, right? So whenever you want to have some kind of comparison, right, 2 sets of data are there, 3 sets of data are there, it is always preferable to have a bar chart. Okay, so let us see what is a bar chart. So your matplotlib provides the bar function which can be used to create bar charts, and the syntax of the bar chart is nothing but bar, you give the x value, then the height, width, bottom and alignment, right? So these are the different parameters that we will be giving. Okay, and this function will create a bar plot bounded with a rectangle. So always the bar chart will be having a rectangle, right? So whatever parameters you have given, depending on that, a bar will be created which looks like a rectangle. Okay, now let us see an example, then it will be more clear for you. We are going to draw a bar chart, right, or bar plot for how many number of students have enrolled in different courses or in different programs of an institute, right? So I am going to draw a bar plot for this particular data. So this is a dictionary, right? I hope you can recollect the different data structures of Python. This is a dictionary data structure. I have the data, these are the key values, right? So BBA, BCA, BCom, BSc are the programs, and we have the number of students enrolled, or you call it as value, key value pairs, right? In dictionary we will have key value pairs, and this is the key and this is the value. So for this key we have 20, and this is 35, 30 and 35. So this is how the number of students enrolled in different courses of an institute or different programs of an institute. Okay, now for which I am going to write the code like this. Okay, how to draw a bar chart for the given data. Okay, as usual you will be importing NumPy, you will be importing PyPlot, and I have to create a data set, right? So already we have created a data set as a dictionary. You can observe here I am creating it as a dictionary with colon. If you have, then it is called as key value pairs. So I am going to call a list. I am going to call a list function for creating a list called as programs from the key values, right? So these are the keys. So using these keys I create a list, and using the values I create the list for number of students. Okay, now you can observe here, as I told you, I am creating a figure. I am creating a figure, and the figure size is also mentioned. Okay, I am going to plot a figure, and the figure will be of this particular size, so that whatever plotting I am going to do, all this plotting will be done in this particular figure, and this figure can be saved later for my purpose. Okay, and here I am using the bar function. Observe here I am using the bar function. I give the values x and y values. X value is programs and y value is number of students enrolled, and the color I have given maroon color, right? And the width I have given 0.4. Then as usual we give a label for x-axis and y-axis, and I give a title for the bar chart as students enrolled in different programs of the institution, and I say show the plot. Okay, so let us see the example. I have done the example already, so I'll just copy this. I'll copy and paste it in my new notebook. I paste it here, and observe it. I created a dictionary with key value pairs. These are the keys and these are the values, and all the keys I took it for program list. All the values I took it for number of students enrolled in each program. And I create a figure just to save this particular plot. I create a figure. So hereafter in my program, in the after this particular point in the program, I can just have this plot with the name called figure. So that is the advantage. Okay, We are not going to look into that. We will be seeing later how the figure can be created and how the figure can be saved in your system, right? So for the time being, let us see how this bar chart look like. Okay, and I give the x and y values, then the color is given, width is also given, and I specified the x label and y label, and I give the title also. Okay, I am going to run this code. I run this code. Now when I run this code, you can see here I am getting a bar chart, and you observe the x label will be the programs offered. So you have programs offered mentioned here, and here I have number of students enrolled. Okay, and automatically the system has used these labels, right? The BBA, BCA, BCom, BSc, these are all the programs offered which is already available in the list, right? So it is automatically used by the PyPlot library. Okay, and if you want to change it to some other color, so I just say it is green color and I run it again, you get it in the green color. Okay, and if you want to change the width, let me say it is 0.2, then when I run it will be changing the width also, right? You can observe here I am changing the width. And suppose, say for example, you want to add one more course, right? Let me say I want to add one more course called BA. Okay, then for which I have given 24 as the value, and I am going to draw. See, it has added automatically BA also in the bar chart. So this is how the bar charts can be created using the PyPlot library. It's very interesting, right? So you change different colors, you change the width, and in whichever form, and it is very easy for comparing, right? As we had seen the advantage of data visualization, instead of giving the data like this. So if you give the data like this, it is very difficult for the human being to analyze the data or to make a comparison, right? So instead of giving this data like this in a table or in a list form, if you give the data this way, right? So if you give the data this way, I can easily understand for BCA and BSc number of students enrolled are more comparing to the other programs. In the same way, for BBA number of students enrolled are very less, can be easily seen by the executive members of the management and whoever it may be using this graph for analysis. Okay, so that is the advantage of having the data visualization, which is easily done using your Matplotlib. Okay, so this is how the bar charts will be created in Matplotlib. Then apart from that, right, so now we had seen how a bar plot can be created. Suppose if you want to have multiple bar plots, right? So when I say multiple bar plots, say for example, you have given 5 programs, and in each program how many number of students have been enrolled. Now suppose, say for example, you want to find out in 2015, 2016 and 2017, in these 3 years, how many students have enrolled in each program, right? So now the number of values are 3 values, right? In each year, in each program, how many students have enrolled. So this kind of comparison if you want to do, then you have to go for the multiple bar plots, right? So these are generally used whenever you want to do the comparison among the data set, right? And we can easily convert it as a stacked area bar chart. We will be seeing how the stacked area bar chart can be created, and each subgroup will be displayed by one on top of the others. Okay, and it can be plotted by varying thickness also. So all these things can be configured, right? So all these things can be customized, let me say. The position of the bar, the thickness of the bar, the color of the bar, the style of the bar, everything can be customized whenever you want to create a bar plot. Okay, yes. So for the multiple bar plots, we are going to see another example here. This shows the number of students got A plus, right? So how many students have got A plus in each program. So here we are going to have 3 programs, BBA, BCA, BCom. in each program how many students have got A plus in these years, right? Like in 2015, how many students have got A plus in the BBA program. Then in 2016, how many students have got A plus in BCA program, like that, right? So that is what we are going to do as an example now. So let me go to the example. Okay, I'll just show you the program first. So this is the program that we are going to write for having multiple bar plots. Multiple bar plots will be achieved by using subplots, right? Please see that we'll be discussing again what are the different parameters of the subplot, what are the different parameters of bar chart, etc. So this is just to get an idea of what is a bar plot, what is a subplot, and what is a multiple plots. Okay, now observe here, I am just creating the bar width. This is a very simple scalar variable. I have said bar width must be 0.25, right? So there in the earlier example we tried changing the width, like from 0.4 we changed it to 0.2. So here I want the width as 0.25. Okay, and I am going to create this figure, the subplot figure, with 12,8 as the size, and that will be stored in a variable called figure. Okay, then I go for creating the figure. What I did, I am going to have the number of students who have got A plus in each program. So in BBA, 12 students have got A plus in the year 2015. Then in 2016 it is 30 students. In 2017 it is only 1 student. And in 2018 it is 8 students. And in 2019 it is 22 students. Like that in BCA, these are the number of students who have got A plus in each year, and number of students who have got A plus in each year in the BCom program. So like that I have 3 list of values. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I am going to create an array range, and the array range will be the length of BBA. So this is the length of BBA, 5 values are there. So 5 is the length. So based on that length, I am going to create a range. And this range will be added for each and everything, right? So that bar width range will be added, right? So how you want the values to be plotted in the bar plot, right? So that is what is done here. Then what I did, I am going to draw the bar chart. Please observe here, I am drawing the bar chart with X value this one, and the Y value is BBA, color is red, and the width will be the bar width, which we had already set, bar width, and the edge color must be gray, and the label will be BBA. Like that I am plotting 3 bar charts. I am plotting 3 bar charts. One for BBA, the second one for BCA, and the third one for BCom, right? And the length is being calculated from these values, right? The values, or you can call it as the position of the bars. Position of the bars will be calculated based on the number of values you have given in each and every list. Okay, then what I did, as usual, we are giving the X label. We are giving the X label. X label is called as program, and for which I am giving the font weight, and I am giving the size also. So it is all the attributes which you can set. Then the same way Y label is also given with font weight and font size. Then we are going to have X sticks. X sticks is nothing but how you want to have the sticks in the X axis, right? So which is the bar, okay, for which you are going to give the label as 2015, 16, 17, 18 and 19. Then you want to show the legend also. Okay, so this is a simple program which we are going to use for the subplots. Okay, this is just an example. We'll be discussing what do you mean by A range, what do you mean by this bar width adding, and what do you mean by this X sticks, etc. We'll be discussing later. Just to understand what do you mean by a subplot, or what do you mean by multiple bar plots, we are using it. Okay, I'll go to my coding, and let me copy this code which I had already tried. I copy this code. Okay, so in the new cell I am adding this code. You can observe I set the bar width. I create three list BBA, BCA, BCom with the number of students who have scored A plus in each year. Then I am setting the position. I am setting the position of the x-axis bars for each and every value, and using those positions I am creating the bar chart for BBA, BCA and BCom. Then I am adding the labels as well as the sticks value also in the x-axis. Okay, so I am going to run this code. Okay, sorry. Okay, so when I run this code, you can observe multiple bar charts have been drawn. Okay, it's multiple. So you have BBA in red color, BCA in green color, BCom in blue color. So this is what you call as legend. So this appears because of this function called legend. Then X label value is programs. Then Y label is students with A plus. This is what you call as the Y label, and the font size, everything has been set. Then the X sticks must be having this particular value called 2015, 16, 17, etc. So that is what this is. In the X sticks you want to have 2015, 16, 17, 18 and 19, and the bar width is only 2.5, so that is why you get this size of the bar, and the values is depending on the list. So in the first case in 2015 we have 12, 28, 29. So you can see here 12, 28 and 29, which is the highest in BCom. Then in the second year BBA is having 30, BCA is having 6 and BCom is having 3. So you can see here BBA is having the highest. Okay, and in the third year that is in 2017 it is 1, 16 and 24. This is 1, 16 and 24. So BCom is having the highest, right? So this is how multiple bar charts can be drawn in a single figure. That is the advantage. In a single graph we are drawing a multiple bar charts, which is possible using subplots, which is possible using the subplots. Okay, so we'll be discussing how the subplots can be used, what are the different what you call parameters that are available in subplots, and what are the different attributes that are available, what are the different values that can be given for these attributes, etc. in the upcoming session. Okay, so we'll be discussing the histogram, then the subplots, right? So in detail, right, how you can have two different graphs itself, how you can have two different graphs itself in a single graph. All those things we'll be discussing in the next upcoming session. Okay, how we can do all these things. So with that we are completing the introduction to Matplotlib. So in the upcoming session we will be seeing an example of scatter plot as well as subplot. We had already seen now, but even then we will be further exploring on the parameters of subplots in the upcoming session. And apart from that we will also see some of the very important functions that are available in PyPlot. So I'll just have one single example for all these functions so that we can complete the program, and with that we'll be completing the module 3. Thank you.